I want to talk about Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Right now, this team is 4-3, and I do believe that this team is a playoff caliber team in the AFC. And I'm going to tell you why. I want to start off with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this season. 8 passing touchdowns to 1 interception. Now, he has not been put into the best situation. Yes, he has 2 top tackles with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, but the interior of this offensive line has easily been one of the worst interior groups in the NFL. But yet, this man is still going out there and he's having a lot of success. You may look at a team that's 4-3 and say they're barely over 500, but you look at the situations that they have been put into and you look at how close the games have been this season. When I look at Justin Herbert, this is not even close to being the best that he's played on the field because he doesn't have the top tier weapons, but yet he has still been an effective quarterback week in and week out, even dealing with an ankle injury that he suffered many weeks ago. Now, right now, he's 100%. But when I look at the Los Angeles Chargers from week 1 all the way up to this point, they play very good defense. They run the football as much as possible, and Justin Herbert has been very efficient. When you look at Herbert in this system with Greg Roman, it has been ugly at times because it seems like Greg Roman is insisting on running the football as much as possible. And when they do pass the football, it's a lot of underneath routes. A lot of that is because the wide receivers with the team, they're not ready to be true number 1 guys just yet. Now, Ladd McConkey, he's becoming a number 1 target for Justin Herbert since Quentin Johnson has been out. And as I record this video, Quentin Johnson is expected to come back against the Cleveland Browns. They're going to need both of those guys to step up for the rest of the season. Ladd McConkey has developed over a crazy rate week by week. And when I look at Quentin Johnson, was a very good player in college with TCU. You go back to his rookie season, was not able to catch the football. And a lot of Charger fans and a lot of people in the national media, they were done with this kid. Coach Harbaugh comes over. He fixes him up. He's been able to catch the football. It's not a true number 1 receiver just yet, but you see the potential on film. They need those guys to go out there and stretch the field. Hopefully, DJ Chark can come back within the next couple weeks. And I'm not saying that DJ Chark is a top 15 wide receiver because he's not, but he's a very good deep threat. They had Jalen Reagor playing on Monday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals. No disrespect towards him. He's a bust in his own right because he's a former first-round pick. And his team moved off of him as fast as possible. The reason why I bring up Jalen Reagor, you look at that Cardinals game, and they lost that game. They could barely do anything on the offensive end in terms of putting up points. They kicked a lot of field goals in that game. As a matter of fact, every point that they had on the board came from a field goal. They did not put up an offensive touchdown in that game. Jalen Reagor caught a pass for 43 yards right in the red zone. He fumbles the football. He got wide open, credit to him. Justin Herbert throws a dot like he always does. He fumbles the football. That could have changed the direction of the game. They can't overcome those type of turnovers. And the fact that Justin Herbert has 8 passing touchdowns to 1 interception is crazy to think about. Because in the past, Justin Herbert would throw a lot of interceptions, and it wouldn't even be his fault. It's because of the scheme that he was put into by Coach Lombardi and by Kellen Moore as well. And the reason why I bring up those lack of turnovers from Justin Herbert, he's putting his team in the situation to go out there and win football games. Now, when we talk about a complete offense, they're far from it, but this is the best offense he's been in terms of winning and having success. When you look at the way this offense is built, they're physical, they run the football, they work off of play action, and they're hoping they can get a big play with Ladd McConkey or Quentin Johnson. And you look at a guy like Will Dissly, throughout his entire career, this man has been known as a blocking tight end. He's becoming a top target for the Chargers. And I look at it from this situation. They don't have a true number 1, but they have a lot of guys that can go out there and try to get open. And they're going to need that moving forward because when I look at their schedule, they have a favorable schedule. I think that this team can go out there. They can defeat the Cleveland Browns this Sunday. We'll see if that can happen. Then they face the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals defense is one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They should be able to put up points on that team. They face the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are one of the worst teams in the NFL. They should win that game. The Titans have only won 1 game this season. As I record this video, they face against the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be tough, but the Ravens pass defense is 31st ranked in the NFL. When I look at the Chargers, they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They can run the football, and we saw what they did against the New Orleans Saints. Ladd McConkey broke a crazy play, and it went for a 60-yard touchdown. Those type of plays right there could put the Chargers right in front. They are a physical football team. They want to beat you up. This is a definition of an ugly and annoying football team, not to watch. But if your favorite team is playing against the Chargers, you're going to be in for a rough one because they're going to play you to the very end. And every single game this season has been close. When you go back to the Carolina Panthers game, they went out there, they dominated against Carolina Panthers. You would think that they would score 30 plus points in the game. No, they get you in, they get you out. They run the football, they play efficient. And that's the only game that Justin Herbert has thrown an interception in, which is crazy. That's also the game where he hurt his ankle in. And it brings me into this point. When they went against the Steelers, they were up in that game. Rashawn Slater goes out, Joe Alt goes out, Justin Herbert goes out with an ankle injury as well. Unfortunately, they lost to the Steelers. Then the next week, the man plays again on a sprained ankle against the Chiefs. They lose that game, but they were up 10-0. If they were not dealing with those injuries to the offensive line and Justin Herbert is 100%, maybe they go out there and they win that football game. Now, I'm not trying to play hypotheticals here. I'm just telling you what was happening and what they were dealing through. The fact that they have dealt with that much and they've been able to go out there and win 4 games and they're above 500, that's very impressive to me, in my opinion. The wide receivers have to continue to grow. The interior of the offensive line has to get better. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have a lot of faith in Quentin Johnson getting better for the rest of this season. And the same with Ladd McConkey if they can both stay healthy. And the big tackles, as long as Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt in the field, are going to be amazing there. The interior with this offensive line, I don't see it getting any better over the course of the season. They're just not good enough. They're not good football players. From the left guard to the right guard position, especially Bradley at the center position. He had a great moment. He was taking up for Justin Herbert. It was a dirty play by a Saints player. He's gator rolling his leg in back-to-back situations. He goes out there and he knocks the defensive tackle down. You love to see that, but he has to be a better center moving forward if they do want to make a deep playoff push. And if you're a Broncos fan, you may say, hey, the Denver Broncos have a better record. They're in second place in this division. I will say this right here. The Chargers went out there and they defeated the Denver Broncos a couple weeks ago. Let's not forget that. And when I look at the Broncos schedule, they have tougher games upcoming than the Chargers do. So pay attention to that as well. When I look at the defense of the Los Angeles Chargers, Coach Jesse has been the best coach on this team in terms of going out there and being a coordinator. I think he's a better coordinator than Greg Roman is as an offensive coordinator. And no, that's no disrespect to Greg Roman. Coach Jesse has just been that good. This man has come over and transformed his defense overnight. This was one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL last season. They could not stop the run underneath Brandon Staley, and give Coach Harbaugh a lot of credit for that as well. But we saw what Coach Jesse was able to do at Michigan. You always have questions about college coordinators. Will it transfer over to the NFL? His is transferred over to the NFL in a very impressive way. If he continues to coach like this over the next couple of years, he's going to be a head coach in the NFL one day. And one thing that's very interesting, look at who the head coach was when Coach Harbaugh had to exit the game a couple of weeks ago when he was dealing with a heart issue. It wasn't Greg Roman. It was Coach Jesse that stepped in to be the head coach for the time being. That says a lot about Coach Jesse already. But when I look at this defense, they can get to the quarterback with or without Joey Bosa. That's why they signed Bud Dupree. You have Bud Dupree, you have Khalil Mack, you have Joey Bosa. I'm almost done with Joey Bosa because he can't stay healthy. When he's on the field, he's amazing. And he's not the same player that he once was even when he's on the field. Very good run stopper, very good pass rusher still. But this man was a top pass rusher in the NFL many years ago when he was able to stay healthy. Those injuries are taking a toll on him week by week, it seems like, and year by year for sure. When I look at a guy like Khalil Mack, he's getting older. He's a very good pass rusher, a guy that can go out there and stop the run. The linebacking spot, Denzel Perryman, I like him a lot as well. They are very stout against the run. That's the crazy thing about the Chargers. They can go out there, they can stop the run, and they put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And you look at the back end as well. Cam Hart has been a very good player. Christian Fulton has been in and out of the lineup over the last couple of weeks, but he's been their true number one corner. And that's crazy to think about because this is his first year with the Los Angeles Chargers. He was with the Tennessee Titans. They wrote him off. He comes over to the Chargers. He's an elite cornerback in the NFL. And Asante Samuel Jr. has been out the last couple of weeks dealing with a shoulder injury. He's on IR. Hopefully he can come back because we know Asante Samuel Jr. is a very good cornerback week to week. He's not going to go out there and be a top 5 cornerback on a weekly basis, but he's a solid cornerback to have. At worst, he's solid. He's a very good player. As a matter of fact, in that terrible secondary last season, which was not on the players, is because Brandon Staley was such a terrible coach and such a terrible defensive mind. You saw Asante Samuel Jr. be a top cornerback in that system. So I do believe there's still a lot of talent there with him. He just has to stay healthy and get used to this brand new system with Coach Jesse as well. Derwin James is not the same playmaking safety, but he does so many things in terms of tackling and guarding running backs out the backfield and guarding tight ends across the middle. And it's very refreshing to see a defensive coordinator not put this man on Travis Kelce in late game situations. So the Chargers, they're in a lot of close football games. They're able to go out there and they're able to beat you up. The only thing that I'm concerned about are the wide receivers and their development and the interior with the offensive line. Besides that, you have a franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. If you were not sold on Justin Herbert in the past, I'm telling you right now, go and look at his tape. This man is doing elite things with these type of weapons. And once again, no disrespect to Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey. They're very young wide receivers. Quentin Johnson is in year number 2. Ladd McConkey is a rookie, and yet Justin Herbert's going out there against pressure in his face, throwing dots across the middle of the field. I do believe that this is a playoff caliber team. You have a guy in Coach Harbaugh that has had major success in the NFL. He went to a Super Bowl many years ago with the San Francisco 49ers. Ultimately, they did lose to his brother in the Baltimore Ravens, which is fine because he still went to a Super Bowl, and he's coming off a national championship as well. Greg Roman has coached up Alex Smith, Lamar Jackson in the past, and now Justin Herbert. I said this once, I'm going to say it again. Greg Roman as an offensive coordinator, he's not one of the best options in the NFL to have because he's so run heavy and the pass plays are very generic. But in terms of going out there and playing efficient football, he's going to go out there, he's going to give you the best that he has. And the run game hasn't been amazing over the last couple of weeks either. And I do want to talk about J.K. Dobbins before I let you guys go. J.K. Dobbins has been a very good running back, but you could look at what has happened over the last couple of weeks. When they went against the Steelers, 15 carries for 44 rushing yards. That's 3 yards a carry. Against the Kansas City Chiefs, 14 carries, 32 rushing yards. Against the Denver Broncos, 25 carries, 96 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. That's a very good game. Against the Arizona Cardinals, 14 carries for 40 rushing yards, and against the New Orleans Saints, 17 carries, 57 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. They're winning football games in spite of the fact that their run game is starting to slow down. And I'm going to say this as well. We're getting to the colder part of the season. Not too many teams are going to try to go out there and force their quarterback to throw the football 30, 35 times in a game. And if you do, you're going to be in trouble because you may go into snowy conditions, a lot of rain, all of those things. You want to go out there, if you go against a team like the New York Jets and it's a snowy day, run the football. You go against a team like the Patriots, even though they're one of the worst teams in the NFL, run the football. That is what gets you over the hump in the late months of the NFL, and that's what's going to carry over the hump in the NFL playoffs as well. I'm not saying the Chargers are a Super Bowl contending team, but I do believe that this is a playoff caliber team. And it's very impressive as well because this is basically a rebuild on the offensive end. They let Mike Williams go, and they could possibly make a trade to go out there and bring him back. They let Keenan Allen go. They wanted him to take a pay cut. He was not willing to do so. So now you have a bunch of young players on the offensive end and a franchise quarterback, and you still have pieces to fix on the offensive line. Long term, the Chargers are going to be a dominant threat in the AFC. But in year one underneath Coach Harbaugh, yes, we're only 7 games into this season as I record this video. I like what I'm seeing. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about Justin Herbert, and are the Los Angeles Chargers a true playoff caliber team in the AFC? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.